Hello everybody, and welcome to the tier list. So this is going to be a list of all the gear for Tactics Ogre Remake. Now, with Reborn around the corner, I'm going to go ahead and assume most of the balancing and stuff like that, it's probably going to stay the same. They might end up adding a few things, who knows, but I just kind of want to see how much this will end up holding up. Now, bear in mind, there's 345 items on this list because I am just combining everything into one gigantic, confusing pile. It may come in some very bizarre orders, and yeah, everything's going to be... Now, okay, the obvious thing here would be something along the lines of, hey, obviously the Ambition's going to be better than a Dagger, easy tier list, but everything is going to be ranked based on when it comes in the game, how useful it is, say, for challenge runs. I love challenge runs in this game pretty much every day, so... Either way, so how useful it is, just kind of in general, how easy it is to get a hold of. For example, if we go down the list here, we go everywhere from S to A to B to D to F to meme tier down at the very bottom here. And this is actually why we're going to start off by putting the Ambition down in meme tier, because it is the final and hardest to get weapon in the entire game. Yeah, technically you could argue that there's some, grinds that could be potentially worse, but let's be honest, this thing is downright a mean trophy weapon to even get a hold of. You basically have to go all the way through the main story. You have to have done it right. You go through all the way through Coda, and then you got to beat the final fight using only 3 units, and then you have a chance of it dropping, which is just kind of mean. Oh boy, that is a lot of things on this list. Thanks for reminding me, random accidental scroll through this list. Anyway, so terrifying visions aside, let's move on here. Its main kind of deal is that it's got anatomy on it. I mean, that part's good. It's still not even the best one-handed sword by any means. It's all right. It's basically just a trophy weapon. All right, next up, just to go with a shield, the S-Piece. Personally, one of my favorite shields. Tends to hold up pretty darn well throughout most of the game. You can actually keep it well into late game. I believe that has sleep proof on there for the +1 variant. Anything that has a +1 variant, by the way, or has an upgraded version, I'm just going to count them both as the same thing. There was no need to make this a 700+ item tier list, so, you get the general idea. But either way, the S-Piece is pretty darn solid. It'll work pretty much all game. Good strength bonus for a lot of melee characters. One-handers and S-Piece is definitely just a solid thing throughout most of the game. Sleep-proof, really good, just because of stuff like Balmy Breeze. So that'll go there. Next, for A- tier, we're going to go with Balder Dagger. It's good for casters. Intelligence bonus on Dagger. I believe all the casters can use the Balder Dagger. It's good against undead. Actually, I would argue it's probably one of the better things to give your casters. It's just, it's still a dagger. Most of the time, if you want daggers to be raised up, like personally, my favorite thing whenever doing runs is just to have 2 casters with stickers and stuff like that, just swinging back and forth at each other. Tends to rank up their skills pretty fast, especially if they're not running anatomy. Either way, it's solid. It's a good option for them, but it's not really cracking A tier because it's really only useful against undead stuff. All right, next up, what do we want to do here? The Mantiska. It's kind of like a B tier. It's a good spear. It's just kind of annoying to get a hold of. Not a very common weapon. You gotta go craft it. I don't recall any obvious drops for that one. Not really gonna go out of your way to get that one. All right. Next on the list, Balder Blade feels like a B plus. At the time when it becomes available, it tends to carry itself pretty effectively up until about the Claymore. Again, tends to be really good against undead maps, which are really common around that time in the game. And again, it tends to hold up in its little niche surprisingly well. Two-handers generally are not going to be ranked terribly high on this list, but that in particular I feel holds up pretty darn well. In fact, actually, where's the next one on the list? Yeah, above it, we're going to go say Balder Bows. Those are a solid A+. Good to have, firing arcs and that kind of thing. Good as a secondary. Has a silence effect on its upgraded version. Pretty much will last you up until the end of the game if you know how to use it right. Still has good finishers. Again, if for your primary damaging weapon, you can have something else in your other hand. It's just good, reliable, and especially handy for clearing out POTD. Just basically an excellent finisher spammer weapon over there. Alright, Architros Mitts. I'm going to drop these... I kind of want to say D tier. They're not like atrociously awful. They've got good vitality. It's just they're fairly uncommon, and yeah, you might as well just go for something else. I mean, they'll do the job, sure. It's just that they're only useful in one class. Truth be told, even in that particular situation, I oftentimes tend to just sell them anyway. Let's see. Next, let's see, Aqua Hammer. We're going to say B tier. Good weapon. It's actually pretty solid if you want to make a hybrid like spellcaster with a hammer kind of situation. Og Water plus hammer is actually pretty alright. The only problem is you got to go through Sand Bronze to even get a hold of the thing, and then I believe you have to exercise a dragon for it, so screw that. Actually, kind of similar thing for the Aegis, which is going to go down... where do we want to put this? I kind of want to... Okay, you know what? Actually, we're going to put it in B, alright? It is technically the second best shield in the game. Again, technically. It's got petrification proof, or, stone proof, whatever. That's alright. It's just... the odds of getting one are fairly low. Stone proof is a great effect. It's got a great damage threshold boost. It's just, yeah, you get it at the bottom of the extra part of Palace of the Dead, so I believe it's like floor 113 or something, somewhere in the 100 to 115 range. It's one of the DLC shields. It's good, but it comes up very late. However, your odds are not the worst in the world of getting it if you're doing Coda, so I know I've gotten that on a couple runs before. So you might get it by accident, which is the only thing keeping it in B tier. Otherwise, I'd put it in D just for being a pain in the neck to get a hold of. Next, Standard Baldur Armor, A tier. Good for spellcasters, good for most of the game for Terra Knights, especially for the +1 variant. Lets them use a lot of their drain moves very effectively. Intelligence is there to help boost magic attack value. So tends to make that fairly handy. Actually, I'd put the legs in pretty much the same spot. If you didn't know, for most of the game, the legs and armor have more or less the same value, with the legs coming out slightly on top for the initial version, and then for the +1s, the body tends to take over. But, that's kind of neither here nor there. It's kind of a neat little tidbit. All right, next, Azure Necklace, easily S tier. One of the best items in the game. Very solid physical bonuses all across the board. Stun proof, I mean... It's just solid. There's really no reason to ever take that off. Alright, Assassin Blade. Let's say B+. Again, kind of similar situation to the Aegis. It's good. It's just unlikely to be dropped. You probably won't get it on accident. What the hell even drops it? I want to say it was one of the Palace of the Dead people. Not sure. Either way. I'm only putting that here because I've seen people get this drop on accident. I'm trying to not count situations where somebody goes specifically out of their way to get something, unless it's something that's, fairly reliable. I'm assuming that somebody's playing without any retreats or whatever else, not power grinding. Effectively, everything on this list could be power grinded out. I hate power grinding, so that's where we're going to count that one. But yeah, Assassin Blade, it's a good attack value. The dark scaling is, it's pretty acceptable. I don't remember if there's actually any finishers that scale off dark, but either way, it's not going to be amazing max damage or anything because it's a dagger, but that's fine there. Next in F tier, we've got the Boreas. Look, this thing is just a pain in the ass to get a hold of. It's not a very good axe. Its stats aren't amazing. Even when putting together multiplayer teams, it just never came up as something even competitive. I don't know, it just feels really underpowered for what it's supposed to be. So we're going to go ahead and drop that over there. Baldur Gloves, same thing as the other Baldur stuff. It's good, reliable, intelligence boost, all that kind of thing. Next up, the... whatever the hell this thing's called again. Friggin' halberd looking deal. I forget what its upgraded version is. You know what? I literally have my game right in front of me here to see what it is. I don't know why I'm having a hard time remembering stuff today. Bardish. There we go. So the reason that thing's up there is when it comes to late game spears, they kind of run into an odd issue where their attack value sometimes has a bit of a hard time actually getting past defenses. At least for the standard weapons. So you kind of have this awkward jump from the standard spears into stuff like the Colcrium and stuff like that. Now, the Bardish is something that can actually drop relatively commonly. You can craft it. You can craft the upgrade, I believe, fairly early. Let me verify that while discussing. But actually, just being able to that weapon alone was one of the reasons that the no skill run was ever even able to happen. Just because the 100 attack value is just enough to get past a lot of defenses around that time. So yeah, Bardish is the final thing that you get in melee weapons too, so you can craft it right out of the store. So good, reliable, one of the few things with 100 or higher attack value. It's exactly at 100 that you can get out of the store, so that's nice there. Priest pants, we're going to put over here. They're hard to get a hold of. They're not exactly fantastic. Why do I have this opinion? Let me go ahead and double-check the stats, because I just remember always avoiding these things. Yeah, so the Architrust trousers, they're just a massive mind boost pants. Basically, their defense sucks. Their 10 mind value is about all they really get. MP boost is whatever. They're a pain to get a hold of. That 10 mind is good for debuff casters, but really, just having Spell Strike on somebody is going to matter a whole lot more. Not to mention you have to craft these, so screw that. And again, I am assuming for just you're accepting failed crafting, by the way. I know. It's a lot of cases, you'll probably just want to put in cheats to have 100% craft rate. I know I'm a weirdo, okay? I like having the option to fail in there. Just roll with it. It's fine. All right. Next, the Brynhilder, or Brunhild, whatever you want to call it, goes in S tier. It's kind of overpowered for the time that you get it. One of the best light scaling weapons in the game. Just solid overall. Good for a lot of different classes. It's a one-hander, so a lot of people can use it. And you get it for free, so screw it. It's already right there. All right, next up, we'll have the Balder Crossbow going slightly... Here, no, you go right over here, slightly above the bow, just because of that finisher that they have there, so they're very good at spamming their finishers. Alright, next, the the Wart Dart Blowgun. This thing is hilarious. This, again, carried the no-skills run. Like, if you just have a bunch of people running around with charm darts, just mass charming everything, it is hilarious. Alright, Balder Helm, B-, whatever, who cares. Basically, it's like the other Balder stuff, but not everybody can use it. Balder Shield, that kind of goes in A+, I think. It's better than the other Balder stuff, just because, more classes can potentially use all of this stuff together. And you can use it in conjunction with spellcasty stuff, so it's just solid for casters all across the game. Alright, so Elemental Wands, definitely S tier. That's I just put all of those in one. I mean, they're all going to be basically the same deal. Elemental Wands get amazing penetration values towards the end game. They give you augments. They give you good stats. There's just no reason not to use them on your dedicated offensive casters. Next, we got... I want to call it the Jin Blowgun, but it's the... I believe that's the Damask Blowgun, or the Balder Blowgun. F tier, who cares? You don't use blowguns for damage. Well, use a couple of them for damage, not that one. Black Steel or Lacquer Steel or whatever one of these, D tier. It's just not super amazing for the time that you get it in the game. Two-handed katanas in general aren't really super amazing, but specifically those ones have a hard time around the mid game. To compare, like for the Day Chevalier line, right? They go from 86 to 100. Meanwhile, these ones go from 96 to 109, but with a 10 luck penalty. They give you a slight vitality bonus, but again, Superior de Chevalier does that better, plus has knockback on it. So if you're using a Swordmaster, having knockback is already going to be better. Which, speaking of, where is the de Chevalier? Because that sucker needs to go in A tier, because that's one of the few cases where there's... Here, we're going to scroll this up a little bit. It's one of the few cases where a Swordmaster weapon actually manages to do something good. So yeah, Black Steel just kind of sucks. Alright, Standard Balder Sword. Again, A+. Great longevity. Fairly common to get a hold of. Really not hard to get a hold of. Really, price is the main problem for Balder gear. But the sword in particular just holds up particularly well, just due to that undead bonus and having decent stats all around anyway. Balder Mace, that's like a D tier. It cudgels, like the maces in particular, can do some good stuff. The Balder Mace does not fall into that category. It's mostly, you know, let's just put it down to F tier. It's just not a good weapon. The Damask Mace, however, if we scroll down and pick that down from this here fancy list of endless icons. Good lord, there's just so many. Why did I do this again? Okay, we're gonna find it later. It's somewhere in there. I don't really see it right now. Okay, next, let's do these a little bit faster. Balder Hammer. It's solid. Reliable attack value. You know, fairly common. You get the idea. A- for the Belter. Just pistols in general are pretty solid. They don't have great max damage, but they're very reliable. A- just because it's a little bit harder to get a hold of. You got to go through mid Palace of the Dead for that one. Bastard Sword goes into B-. The time when it comes in, it's again kind of like the Black Steel, where it's just in that awkward transitional period where there's really no point to dedicate to this one when you've got better stuff above and below it. Balder Axe, A-, like the Balder Hammer, just a little bit worse. Buckler, A-, just because it's really about the same level as the Balder. It just depends on who's using it. Shaitan's Belova, meme weapon. Its name is hilarious. You're probably not going to get a hold of that one. It's one of those just late Palace of the Dead finds. Alright, Battle Axe. A tier, actually. Very solid attack value for when you get it. Stays around for a good couple chapters if you use it right. Caldia and the Iron Fan. Actually, I didn't put the Iron Fan. No, I did put the Iron Fan separately. Okay, Caldia goes in meme tier. It's just a charm weapon. Now, the Iron Fan we're going to make an exception for, and that sucker's going to go over here. So, that one's going to S tier, because for some reason its stun effect is very reliable. I don't know why, I don't know what the odds are, I just know that, again, during the no-skills run, that thing pretty much carried a bunch of fights. It was Iron Fans and Wart Darts that ended up carrying a good bit of that run. And yeah, these things just, they hit harder than they ever should, and they last a lot longer than they should, simply because they're a one-off weapon, so they tend to have better stats. And yeah, just very, very reliable. Alright, Bronze Helm. This is going to be a contentious one, but that is also an S-tier item. Pretty much 10% damage reduction against everything, and you get it right at the very beginning of the game. It's friggin' awesome. It's a very oddly specific bonus, but if you pair it with High Vitality, they're going to be very resistant to a lot of stuff. Commander Gun, A tier, good, reliable weapon. Unfortunately, it's a two-hander, but it's got fantastic range, good finishers. It'll end up lasting you until you get to the end of Palace of the Dead. It doesn't crack A+ or S tier just because it's, you know, its attack value is better than most other endgame weapons, but even then, it doesn't have any scaling to go with it, so it seems lower. B for bronze, for the bronze spear. Balder Spear, though, is I feel like an A tier weapon. Again, has that anti-undead bonus. Has pretty solid stats for the time that you get it. Can also potentially be pretty reliable into the end game, especially for Palace of the Dead. Alright, Blood Whip Dealy. This one, I feel like it's kind of a meme weapon. It's a life suck weapon, but it's a whip. So potentially you can use it on Lord for like a drain health build, but that being said, at that point, why don't you just build for casting stuff? It's a very odd thing, because not like casting classes generally don't get access to whips, so it's kind of strange that you know, that it's anything like this. I'm trying to think of an Og Dark situation where you'd actually want to use the whip, though, because in a lot of cases it's kind of a clash of ideas there. Like, this thing is hilariously probably the most busted weapon in One Vision, but for this, not so much. Alright, standard Punchy Fists. You know, B+, it's good, it's reliable, it drops off very quickly. Chainmail, and this is going to be an odd one, A tier. That one can actually last you up to Chapter 4 for the +1 variant. The Vitality bonus it gets is actually fairly solid, and the Vitality bonus ends up mattering a lot more than some of the other comparative stuff. Crescent... so this is both Crescent and Cupido. I feel like B+. The guaranteed charm effect on shots is awesome, but its actual damage, I say damage, but attack value is relatively lowish. I'm sure anyone watching this channel knows by this point. Attack value basically means penetration. Damage is its own thing with scaling added. It's confusing. Please, for Reborn, if anybody's watching this on the Reborn thing, I don't know why you would be, but for the love of God, just give it a good tutorial. Explain what attack value does. Just like, or give it like an XCOM 2 style breakdown of stats. Just please. Anyway, so yeah, it's awkward to get a hold of because you basically have to be in the early 20s to even have a chance of dropping it. You can't buy it anywhere. Its crafted variant has a decent chance of breaking your bow, and like again, the guaranteed charm effect is cool. I kind of love the weapon though, just because of its weird rarity, like the oddly specific rarity of this thing. You know, it's just a cool thing. Now, that being said, as far as quote-unquote rarity goes, on my original file, I ended up having 3 of them dang things, so it can't be that rare, but for some reason, they seem to not drop that often. And drops are really the only way you're getting those. Speaking of drops, the Cornicrone, probably going in an A+ tier. So this is Cornicrone and Holy Lance. The Holy Lance is just a straight-up upgrade of the Cornicrone. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry. You know, as as a wise person once said, I don't speak effing French, but it's, yeah, go figure. Classes in French, it didn't get me absolutely anywhere. I just don't like the language. It sounds like barfing to me. So yeah, it's a solid, reliable weapon. It pairs really well with the fact that fencers tend to have light augs already going by that point. So it's just good for that. Gives them that aug bonus. Man, I'm literally trying to hop between different things here, looking at one screen, looking at another, trying to figure out what has what exactly. Because, yeah, it has... So, the Cornicrone, I would actually argue, is just better to stick with than the Holy Lance. So, you get Aug Light on the basic version. If you upgrade to Holy Lance, it switches to Demonology. Now, you get Light Averse either way, and you get double the scaling on the Holy Lance, but you only get about 12 extra attack off it. And just in general, that Aug Light probably will end up just doing more for you in the long run. True, by the very, very end game, Demonology might do more for you. Okay, not Demonology as much as the extra 8% light scaling and attack and VIP bonuses and stuff like that will do more for you, but early on, you're really just better off sticking with that one and not going for the immediate upgrade. Alright, next up, chain legs. These I feel like are a B tier. Unlike the chain plate, they do upgrade their basic stats. In fact, they're actually going to go to a B-. They will initially beat the chainmail, but they don't hold up for nearly as long. Alright, broadsword, A-. Very solid strength bonus for when you get it. Can potentially hold up to Chapter 3. Yes, I've done that before for the Stubborn Wretch challenge before. So that thing can carry you quite a decent ways. It's just, yeah, you get like 3 chapters out of it. It's good longevity. Brigandine, S tier. Pretty much the best dex bonus you can get off your basic body slot until you get the elemental vests. Plus, it's available far sooner. The materials to upgrade it are fairly common, so that's great. I believe this is the heavy crossbow. So most of these crossbows, by the way, they look fairly similar. For example, which one of these is the heavy crossbow? Which one of these is the Banshee's Keen? Which one of these is the Arbalest? Well, I don't know. Let's go ahead and check here. Let's go ahead and hold up the little Retroid screen here, see if we can maybe compare some stuff. So to me, it looks like this one is probably the bow gun, in which case that goes to A tier. It's good, reliable, lasts quite a long time. The Arbalest is actually not on here. That's the one with the red body to it. This one looks like it might be the Keening Bowgun, in which case it goes to B. Its bonus is not amazing. It's got decent attack value, but like it kind of sucks overall. It's not like it's difficult to get a hold of. It turns out it's actually a fairly common drop in Farumpa. Or not Farumpa, what's it? Well, actually, pretty much anywhere with crossbow spawns. For some reason, when I was going and testing what kind of drops you could get on just Tynemouth, I ended up getting a decent chunk of those. Anyway, moving on. Next, we got the Samak. So this is poison-proof, Aug Water, and Acid Breath on a crossbow for some reason. We're just going to put that in a meme tier, because what the hell, Acid Breath on a crossbow? What? It's just a really weird weapon. Like, Og Water doesn't go well with anything, or with any crossbow type stuff, so I don't know why you're running that. Anyway, Shockmock, B-. It can get good attack value. I believe that's got a people bonus for damage, but whatever. It's not anything amazing. Battle Knife, B. It's got good attack value for its time. Actually, no, let's put it in D. It doesn't. It's got good attack value for its time. Just doesn't last very long. Brimstone Bow, A-. Has a good people bonus that can definitely last you through a good chunk of 4 and then Coda. But you end up fighting a lot more undead around that time, so it'll do the job fairly well. Not to mention it can benefit from Og Fire, so that's going to be pretty handy with the Charm Fireball finisher. The Claymore, A+ for when you get it. It again can last you into the end game. Good attack value on this thing. Breach effect on it, so Fear plus Breach is very, very, very good. Basically guarantees whatever the next hit is will smack you real good. To give you an idea, by the way, just to run over the numbers real quick here, as far as why the Bastard Sword got rated pretty low and why the Claymore got rated pretty high. So, like, Baldur goes from 72 to 83, has a Vitality bonus on it, has Anti-Undead bonus, great for its time. Then immediately that goes into Bastard Sword, which is 80 and 91. Not amazing, but it's got a knockback effect, which is handy with Terrifying Impact in some cases, but it's kind of more niche, and you can just put, you can basically just use Mighty Strike to guarantee knockback in that situation anyway. And then you got the Claymore coming in with its Breach bonus, has an accuracy bonus, and has a resistance bonus on it, which most two-hander classes tend to need. So it tends to last a good chunk longer. Its attack value goes from 88 to 99. Again, could be higher, but that Breach effect is definitely a lot more noticeable with this thing. Alright, moving on. Next we got I believe this is the Ashura. It's a two-handed katana thing. We're just going to go and put that here. Is that the Ashura? It looks like the Ashura. Hang on. Give me just a sec. Is that the 1 HK? Yeah, that... Let's compare. Yes, that's the Ashura. Good attack value. Or, you know what? Actually, hang on. It's got stop proof. Stop proof and some really solid damage to it. Okay. Okay. We're going to put that into B+, just because that attack value is pretty alright. When can you actually use this thing? Does it say the level requirement? No, because everything's maxed out in the save file. Dandy. Well, Draconology isn't an amazing bonus. Stop Proof is excellent, though. Actually, you know what? Just for that, it probably should go into A-. It's just anything that the Swordmaster uses automatically kind of sucks, and if you're going to say use it on Lord, then Lord has access to better stuff. What can I say? This thing, I forgot its name. I remember it being amazing. I think that's the Firefly, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that the Superior Brahma? That is the Superior Brahma. Can go for light scaling. Good vitality. Yeah, charm proof, Auglight. Looks like it's a non-unique for some reason. So that gets to go up there. Actually, yeah, that's the one that upgrades from the Earth Sword, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, from the regular Brahma. Now, which freaking one is this? They look nearly the same. Yeah, this was a great idea for a tier list. Either way, the Brahma in general, it's just going over here. It's pretty darn solid. Regular Brahma for when it comes in, relatively easy to get a hold of. Good vitality bonus, again, useful for ninjas. You can pretty much make them immune to damage anyway. Superior Brahma, though, is just pretty darn solid overall, and it's one of the few cases where you actually have a solid attack value sword that you can dual wield. So, there you go. You got that over there. What is this dang thing? I don't know. Beadbound Blade, meme. It's hilarious. It shoots ice balls, and you get it really late into Palace of the Dead. It is a required map to pass through, but also, screw that. It's just, yeah, there's better options that you might have gotten on the way to it, and it's an ice weapon. Most of the ice weapons are not amazing. I don't want to put it as an F-tier weapon because you can potentially make a spellcaster build kind of with it, and it's kind of hilarious because it's a sword that won't draw. Caneblade, B+. It's reliable. It does its job well. Butcher's Knife / whatever it's called in this one. About the same thing. It's just another basic dagger. Drum. Meme tier. You're hitting somebody with a drum. Alright, chokers. This is going to be a weird one. B tier. Because they are not earrings. And also they don't really quite do what you might be thinking they're doing. They more or less boost bonus damage, but they don't really have the defenses to really back that up, and they boost MP. So good for MP regeneration, good for increasing elemental damage. But you're usually going to get more value out of the earrings, so I'm just putting them over here. I feel like they're really overvalued. Alright, regular bullwhip, D tier. You're probably never going to be using that. Circlet. Let's say A-. It has silence proof, I believe. Or is that resist silence or silence proof? It's almost like this game has a whole lot of stuff. Oh, it's just resist silence. Okay, never mind. That's just going in D tier. Basic, basic caster type equipment. Let's see. Resists all elements pretty reasonably well. It's got fairly good availability, but most of the melee classes don't get access to it. Most of the other classes don't really need resistance, so whatever. Chakram goes in B-. Good damage, annoying to get a hold of. Oh, Cloud Shoes, S tier. Just the fact that you can put some fluffy slippers on somebody and make them hover above the fight, clearly dominant. Clear Crack Whip, B+. Has a... let's go ahead and double check what the actual reasoning is for that. I remember it being pretty darn good. So for the Clear Crack... let's see, attack value isn't amazing. Solid dex, so it's going to be doing okay on that. Good intelligence. Drain mind. Why do I value this thing so high? That's actually not very good at all. Alright, screw it. Never mind. You're going down to D tier. What are you? Get out of here. Alright. What do we want to do next here? Basic crossbow... D tier. Damage sucks. It doesn't have anything special on its upgraded variant. Just kind of meh in general. Good for training up crossbows, not much else. Capinaw, same thing. It's just not very good for when you get it. Baldr Claws, B+. They're one of the few fist weapons that can be reliable around the mid-game. Bronze Claws, this is going to be a weird one. I feel like those actually last a good bit longer. So we're just going to put that over there. It's just Baldr Claws don't really upgrade overall stats that much. They just kind of rely on that anti-undead bonus. Crimson Necklace is going down to meme tier. Only Kashua can use it, so it's not really going to be much of a thing you build for. Damask Helmet is good and reliable. Nice vitality bonus on it. Composite Bow. You go here, I think. They're just solid damage, Nothing too fancy. They're not really breaking the top tiers or anything. They're okay. They're a solid okay. Damask Axe, I feel like that's an A tier. It does unfortunately go for the two-handed approach, but it's got stun on it. I mean, a lot of the Damask stuff is going to have stun on it. In fact, Damask Spear is also up there. Stun on a spear. Fan-frickin-tastic. However, Damask Mace goes in S tier because that thing gets an anatomy bonus. Why does that matter so much? Because you can potentially outrank somebody even with max rank anatomy, which basically means that you will always have an advantage. It's weird to explain why this is such a good idea, but it's great. And it retains that bonus going into its upgraded version, plus gets a stunning effect. Now, it's kind of weird because, okay, the basic Damask gets anatomy, which is, it's good. It's a good defensive bonus against a lot of things. The Damask +1, though, doesn't really... So its actual attack value goes up from 68 to 84. That's not nuts. Strength goes up slightly, Dex goes up slightly. You get a couple of random stats that no one really cares about. Stun effect is great. Cudgels +1 is pretty great. So you still retain that same bonus damage in the background, but nothing resists Cudgels. Meaning that essentially, Damask +1 on a warrior or something like that is actually pretty darn solid. Even though it has lower overall stats, a lot of common weapons are resisted by a lot of common units. And something that nobody resists is just pretty darn neat, It's just nice. Alright, Dragon Fang. I'm putting that in A. I love that thing. It's an envenom effect on a dagger, plus you have poison breath if you want it. Yeah, you gotta fight a boss to get it, but honestly, I think that temple's pretty fun to go through. So I'm gonna drop it in A tier. Cutlass, B. It doesn't upgrade too much aside from attack value, but it's also really resisted around that part of the game. It doesn't stick around too long, blah blah blah. Damask 2H. Yeah, it's got the same problem, but it's a two-hander, so it goes down there. Balder Blowgun, or Damask Blowgun, who frickin' cares? That goes down there. Damask Claws, they go in B-. The stun effect is nice. They just don't really scale. They don't really kind of keep up with a lot of other later claws. They don't stick around too long. Dark Spear, A+, or sorry, S tier. Has Fear Proof on it. It is Fear Proof. So Fear Proof, great finisher, great scaling. I accidentally found out that one's, incredibly good for a solo run. Just because a lot of things use Dark, and that means that Prevailing Element is scaling up in the background along with this pointy stick. Alright. Urchin Bola. This is either Bola or Urchin Bola. I believe they actually use the same sprite. B. They're good, they're available. Easy to upgrade, you know. Reliable, not super amazing. Violin, or the Comanche, or whatever this is called. Meme tier. It's an instrument. Why are you hitting stuff with an instrument? Daedalus Gloves. Was there actually anything special to Daedalus Gloves in vanilla? Like, I know they're the Hulk hands in One Vision. What do we got here? Aug Earth. Pretty crappy attack value, all things considered. Low vitality. Really hard to get a hold of. F tier. Daedalus Gloves, however. A tier. Anatomy bonus off of a arm slot thing. I mean, you're getting all the Daedalus stuff at the same time. Okay, you know, actually come to think that it goes down to A- because of how annoying it is to get. But if you're doing Coda, you might as well get it anyway. So we'll go ahead and put that over there. Damask Crossbow. Very top of S tier. This is the greatest weapon in the game. If you aren't familiar, Death Whale, plus the Ogre set, plus a Damask Crossbow, nothing beats that. It is hilariously busted. Actually, the when running the multiplayer tests, the top team is literally just Damask Crossbows. Just Damask Crossbows, one Stinky set, one Ogre set, and pretty much a bunch of uniform random knights and things. It's a very weird weapon. Basically, Death Whale doesn't even need the weapon's attack value. It just kind of scales off its own attack number. Plus is a triple hit, plus mostly just ignores defense by that point. Plus the basic attacks have a stunning effect on there, so it doesn't even matter if they plink, they can just shut down entire teams. Plus almost anything can use a crossbow, so there's really no reason not to use the Damask +1. You can get it right out of the store. Well, that is to say, you get the basic Damask, you gotta get the crossbow, book in order to, the enchilada, in order to get the +1 variant, which is good, but it's not even hard to get a hold of, so you might as well. Alright. I don't remember which one of these is which. They're basically identical. Either way, they're gonna go in about the same spot. Damask Dagger going in A because it's a very light weapon. You can guarantee stun with that. Damask Sword is actually going one under. It's basically the Damask Dagger, but a little bit worse. Like once maxed out, both of these have very similar setups. I just feel like the Dagger would be the faster between the two, so might as well. Apparently I have 2 copies of the Damask Axe in here. What's that about? Alright, Daedalus Blade. F tier. It's not very good, and you get it pretty darn late. So this one's kind of funky. Basically the deal is, so it's got okay attack value. It's got good strength bonus, got good bonus damage, but again, it's available past Palace of the Dead. It shoots lightning, it augs lightning. It's good basically as a spellcaster type of thing, but I don't know why you're running lightning on a melee character. Okay, we're going to put it in B-, just because, you know, because it's a cool idea that it's a chainsaw sword that shoots lightning, but yeah, it's not amazing. Alright, Damask Vest, very middle of the road. Nothing too amazing. Pretty solid overall defensive bonuses, but nothing really too special there. Dirk has a silence effect on there, which can be very specific, but again, very middle of the road on that. You've got better options. All right, next kind of A plus tier item, we're going to put the earrings. So the earrings, if you didn't know, give you universal, like, I believe it's plus 20% damage reduction against pretty much everything. So very useful there. That's actually quite a bit more useful than a lot of the offensive bonuses that you can get, because not a lot of stuff has universal effects. Okie dokie, and back. Alright, so let's do this thing. Where the hell were you? So I ended up expanding the size of this thing a little bit, just, for obvious reasons, because it's getting frickin' ginormous. And moving on, so let's go ahead and have a rapid-fire cursed weapon round. Alright, 2 HK cursed. 2 HKs are cursed to begin with. Cursed axes can potentially be pretty solid. We'll put that up here. I'm rating these basically on general utility. Alright, bow and crossbow feel like they kind of belong up here. They don't... well, I mean, potentially, if you have a completely maxed out unit they use for them, you could potentially have a, a pretty ridiculous weapon out of them. I just feel like, honestly, for how much of a pain in the neck it is to max them out, you're just better off going with the Damask. Alright, Alright, dagger, we're gonna go over here. Actually, no, that one's gonna go to B minus. Actually, let's put that in B minus. It's just daggers, their finishers aren't exactly incredible, so you're really better off just having either something with really good utility or good finishers. Like, the only S tier among them I'd put would be the Cursed Gun, which can go up there. Basically, the thing looks like a Desert Eagle with a frickin' soul gem attached to it, and that's more or less what it is. It has rifle range, and as much damage as you want to sacrifice to it. Potentially amazing, but either way, any Fusel class can use it, regardless of whether they're a pistol or a rifle class. So we'll put that over there. What else? 1 HKs, that goes over here. Honestly, it's not worth investing the time for 1 HKs to do them. They can do just fine without them. A lot of these are just straight up not worth it. Like, the blowgun, that goes in the meme tier, because that's just hilarious. That thing just turns into just a cannon. The instrument, why would you bother? Friggin' regular sword, sure, B+, but again, there's just more convenient options. You have to bear in mind that in order to get a maxed out cursed weapon, you have to sacrifice a maxed out character, which means, like, basically power grinding all their stats. For context, when I did a run, just using base stat grinding, not even like crazy amounts of grinding, but basically maxing every class up to about 15 as soon as I got it. And then just putting the entire team through all of these over and over and over. Their stats were still in the 70s by the end of Coda 4. So that's like the final end game. And like, that was using every class that just naturally came about until then. Sure, you can get more along the way. You can go and chomp down on a bunch of meats and things, but it's just such a waste of time that it's just not worth doing. So again, unless they have some amazing utility, I'm assuming you have one unit to sacrifice to make one cursed weapon. What should it be kind of a situation. Cursed Spear, that's another one kind of like these two. It's just, you're essentially getting either better range or just better utility. Great finishers on spears. Plus that thing just kind of looks cool. It reminds me of the spear from Legend of Dragoon. Cursed Fist, no. Cursed Two-Hander, no. Cursed Whip, yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool. We're going to put it at least in a B. Cursed Hammer, why bother? They just don't have as much availability, and the thing looks dorky as hell. Cursed Stick, no. Alright, that about sums that up. Dragon Axe, acceptable for when you get it. The upgraded version's alright. It completes the dragon set, but it's not really anything spectacular. I don't know why... Oh, this is the throne... this is the Tomahawk or something, the throne version. I'm going to put that one in D tier just because, again, it's one of those awkward transitional weapons where above and below it are better. Plus, it gets downrated for using the same thing as the Damask Axe. Alright, Elemental Shields. These are the Elemental Bucklers. They basically go right up here with the Elemental Wands. There's just no reason not to use one. I mean, they're basically the same thing as the Buckler, but you're getting an augment bonus off them. They're very universally available to a lot of classes. And yeah, they're not exactly difficult to get a hold of. You'll probably run into at least a couple of them on your run, so might as well use them. Same thing applies to the robes. It's just one of those pretty much best-in-slot kind of situations, so you might as well. Euros. Boy, oh boy, do you go down into D tier. Slightly better. Or, that's the Boreas. The Euros... Wait. No, the Boreas is the axe. The Euros is over here. Just because it's a hammer, it gets better finishers, but it's still... just a pain in the neck to get. It's not a very good weapon. It's basically a trophy. Whatever. It just goes over there. Desert Blade. I'm going to put it in A. Because it's your first... it's basically going to be your first two-handed elemental available option. You can pretty much augment it right away. They're very commonly available. Random units will just carry them around. You can immediately use it better than they can with just a simple augment switch. And, yeah, just solid weapon in general. Elemental Heavy Armors, A tier. They're not as completely ubiquitous as the Elemental Robes, but, you know, they can go over there. Sometimes you want that augment bonus. The Vests, though, definitely are up there as just, like, they're basically Brigandine, but better with an Elemental bonus there. So we'll just go ahead and put that right there. Elemental Wands. I don't know why these are in here separately. Just, there you go. You get more wands. Just put that over there. Firecrest, obvious S. I mean, it's going to be the best accessory in the game. We're going to put that over here. The funny part is, actually, I'm going to put it one under the Azure. You know why? Because of the Firecrest, for all the stuff that it can do and for all the stats it gives, it doesn't block stun. So, death proof, you'd think from the description that it blocks all debuffs. It only blocks major debuffs, like Petrification, Stop, Charm, that kind of thing. But a lot of the basic ones, like Charm and whatnot, can get through just fine. So, you know, kind of just amusing. We'll put it up there. Femex, gotten that on accident before. Great damage. Solid thing. Pretty lightweight. We'll put that there. Fire Gauntlets, A tier. Good stats. Misery is pretty useful on a lot of units. It doesn't really hit too often, but it's good enough. Plus, Augment Fire does pretty well with stuff like hammers. So I'll put that there. Which, speaking of, the Flame Flail changed to the Ember Wake in One Vision. Probably the best one-handed hammer in my book. Scales really well with the what is it, like Crimson Sun or something, whatever, the big friggin' explosion move. So yeah, I mean you're already running fire. You can basically turn it into an AoE. Fantastic synergy between these two. Only reason Fire Gauntlets are a little lower are just because you got to go through the entire thing and the boss may never even spawn. Francisca is also a thrown one. Is this... I don't know, whatever. We'll just put this over here. I don't know what the deal is with this one then. Maybe I did just put it in twice. Who knows? Fruit Helm... B. I mean, you get it pretty late. It's nothing too mind-blowing, so I'll just drop it there. Ashura... Wait, is this Ashura or Lightbringer? What is that thing? I feel like there must be some duplicates in here. It's very... No, that's Crescent Sword, so... Og Water, Stun Proof, 154 attack, pretty good resistance. You know what? Actually, no, that's a bit unfair. That goes in A. That's going to be up there for some of the better 2HKs. My bad. Damask Hammer, A tier, good, reliable, stun effect, you know, you get the deal. Damask Leggings, A-, easily available, you got your upgrade on it, you know, just good vitality and all that. Let's go ahead and zoom this out even more, because I haven't zoomed out enough. How does that look on the video? I don't think we're going to have enough slots still. Alright. So, what's next? Dragon Claws, D for Dragon. I mean, you're probably just going to get them. You know what? Let's just put them in B. You'll probably get them just kind of on accident. They complete the Dragon set. It's just a convenient situational find, more or less. Hash, I feel like that's an A minus. It's good, or the Polax / hash. You're probably going to get that in an accident. They're readily available in the end game. Solid, reliable damage. I don't feel like they're as big of an upgrade as like the Colcurium or anything like that. Alrighty, who would have thought that this would need like either 3 or 4 sessions at this point? Alright, next up, let's go ahead and put the Kukri and Fandango up here in A tier. It doesn't exactly stick around for terribly long, but you got to give it bonus points for being a Vagrant Story reference. Basically, that's the weapon you start off with in VS. But also, it's just good and reliable for most of the end game. If you don't get much of an upgrade, it's just always going to be there as a reliable option. Alright, next, the Kumbira. Let's go in B. You gotta fight a frickin' Heaven General to get a hold of that thing. Nah, not great. Alright, Worm Scale Armor, A+. Very good and reliable, high durability armor. Easily available. Pretty much everyone's gonna have it. Part of the Dragon set. Actually, same thing goes for the Dragon Helmet. It's not as common. It's a fairly uncommon drop, and crafting it is honestly kind of stupid. Okay, the entire crafting book is basically just a big old OB64 reference, but you can just find the dang thing, so you're really better off just doing that. You'll probably have a few of them around, Coda 1 or 2. It's there. You might as well just use it. So you already got your 2 out of 3 sets for the Dragon set. Just put whatever weapon with it, and you're fine. Thunderfists are an A. Paralytic Wave on gloves is fantastic. It's just handy. It's got good availability, good and reliable. We'll put it over there. Mage Mitts are... See, I want to put them in a meme tier because they seem bizarrely useless, but they're actually kind of an A minus. See, the thing is, compared to like the Wizard Hat, which we should probably just go grab the Wizard Hat real quick, wherever that is in here. Yeah, right here. So Wizard Hat is not a B tier. Wizard Hat is going into A+. Actually, it's going into S tier, because the Wiz Plus 1 is just, bar none, the best casting headwear, right? But the thing is, the gloves have similar stats, but they're just slightly more defensive, and they don't have like the meditate bonus and stuff like that. But if that's not something you're looking for, and you're looking for a more defensive setup, there are certain situations where the mage gloves can be better. They're just kind of niche, but you're always going to have a pile of them. So whatever, they're basically free. Heater Shield, or the Mask Shield / Heater, whatever. A minus. Good, reliable, common, parry bonus, so dandy. Medusa Shield goes in A minus, though, so best defensive shield in the game, has a petrification effect. It is a pain to get a hold of, but if you have... basically, if you're going on Chaos and you're recruiting Cressida, if you're on high-level scaling, she will carry that. So you can have a guaranteed spawn of this thing, otherwise you have to craft it. So, potentially you have an easy way to get a hold of one. Resenzi Shield, A, just because it's availability. Not as many classes get to use it, but it's a good defensive. I believe it's a deflect shield. It's either parry or deflect. Let me double check. I always forget which one's which. I mean, even a decade later, it's crazy how easy it is to mix stuff up in this game. So yeah, Resenzi is parry +2, Dread is deflect +2. So yeah, Resenzi is just parry, good for stuff like hoplites and whatever else. Dread Shield goes pretty much at the same spot. The two are very equal. They're meant to be sister equivalents of the same thing. You might say deflect is more useful, but the thing is you end up taking a lot more melee attacks than ranged ones, so it's kind of situational. So either way, we'll leave that over there. Holy Crown, putting that into F tier. That thing, okay, it used to be a unique item. It's just Auglite. Its stats are not super amazing, and the fact that they took away from its main purpose in the game for no apparent reason to make a fairly crappy item is a little bit confusing to me. I hope it's unique again in Reborn. Anyway. Some kind of earth crossbow thing. I forget its name, and I don't care. It goes in D tier because it is not something that I would be going for. There we go. Like, heavy crossbows, if they're not the fire one, they go in D tier towards the end of the game, because it just kind of comes down to attack bonus and whether or not it is whether or not it's able to scale off something useful. So we'll just put that over there. Let me go ahead and double check I'm not missing something, because that seems unnecessarily mean to those, but... So yeah, the Colonnade there, the Earth one... I mean, Stoneproof is pretty good, but honestly, how often do your archers get hit by Petrification? Augment Earth is nice, but it doesn't really synergize with any of their finishers, so it's only augmenting itself. Mind bonus... I mean, why are you specializing in debuffs on a heavy archer? I don't understand. I'm sure there's some use for it somewhere. Actually, wait, that's the Daedalus Bowgun I just put in D. Okay, that goes in... that goes in A-. So it's got a bind effect, but its attack value is fairly low. It's got stun proof on it, which is great. Great strength bonus on it, so good defensive weapon, but you have to go through entirely the Palace of the Dead to get it. You've got way stronger crossbows by then, but the bind effect could be very useful. Alright, gauntlets, A+, they're available for a long time. They're a good, reliable strength bonus for most of the game and into the end game. Lipple's Rod is S tier. Trinity Pulse plus Lipple's is just a guaranteed one-shot against anything. Let's see. Grand Grimoire. What exactly did this thing do in vanilla? Because I basically never actually run books in vanilla. Light Aug, pretty low attack, fantastic vitality bonus, which actually makes sense because most of the books are basically meant as defensive options. So if you ever wondered why they were absolutely geared towards defense in One Vision, yeah, in vanilla they were also geared for defense. Just yeah, most of them have an int bonus. Grand Grimoire has great stat bonuses, great health bonus, great vitality bonus. In fact, that goes into S tier. That's friggin' awesome. Auglite, which who cares? One-time use of Radius, which is basically a rocket launcher. So, anyway, Holy Comets, A tier, easily available, great against a lot of things. Does particularly well in San Bronze. Glamrock / Stardust, D tier, just everything about it is just disappointing from start to finish. Here, let me go over the numbers real quick. So, attack value, not great for their particular levels and stuff like that. Glamrock, you start off with a health bonus. For some reason, that's sacrificed for an MP bonus for the Stardust. Who the hell knows why? It goes from Fire, which I believe it actually does get some use with, and switches to Light, which I don't understand. There's no reason to turn the Glamrock into the Stardust, but it's treated as an upgrade for some frickin' reason. Anyway, everything about it is annoying. Not to mention you have to go quite out of your way to even get a hold of the dang thing. I hate it. Moving on. Ashana... I would say thereabouts. Let's see. That's the Quench Sword, isn't it? Yeah, Quench, Stop Proof, Augment Water. It's a cool weapon. Honestly, I love its deal. It's a neat meme weapon. I'm gonna put it in the meme category. It's a sword that fires Gatorade. Its stats are pretty alright. It's just, why Quench? It's so weird. Lightning Crossbow, kind of middle of the road. We'll just put it A-. Long Gun, A tier. That map is pretty fun to do. Most of your unique guns are found on one map, so you can reliably know where to go. And it's got great range, and I believe 210 is the highest attack value, aside from potentially cursed weapons in the game, so good and over there. Let's see, D tier for leather. All the leather gloves and their variants are over there. Leskar's Beloved, fantastic defensive option, but an A- for being a pain in the neck to get a hold of. More wands for some reason. I could have... Didn't I already put the Dragon Scale on here? Maybe not. Anyway, A- for Dragon Scale. Upgraded version, gets Poison Breath. It's a good option. Finishes off the Dragon Slayer set, which is basically a diet version of the Ogre set, except it only works against dragons. So potentially, good mid-game free Dragoon out of a completely different class there if you want it. You might get some interesting stuff out of let's say a warrior running full dragon set plus like crossbow or something, or just anything really. So you can turn any warrior into a Dragoon. It's acceptable. We'll just leave it at that. Alright, so the lobbers are actually going to go in reverse. So regular lobber goes in A, lobber +1 goes in B+, and lobber +2 goes in B. Reason being because they become less and less available to different classes. So while you can do a lot of interesting stuff with that one, the crafting odds on it suck. You have to have a specific book to get to it, and not very many classes get to use it, so blah blah blah. Alright, all the meme boots. So whether you need the kinky boots, or you need all of your like fire walking, or water walking, or cloud walking, whatever boots. Well, aside from the cloud walking boots, as we've established, those things are just plain superior. You know, those flying slippers are just the greatest, but when it comes to all of the other ones, they get to go over there. Yes, the kinky boots don't really make you fly or anything, but I feel like they fall into that same category. They do give you that niche kind of like boosting universal defense thing, but their defense values are too low to actually make much use of it. Same thing goes for the rings of the same variety. Marauder's Knife / whatever the other one is. We'll just put that in B+. Good, available, easy to upgrade. Good augment for its time. That'll do. Lombardia goes into regular A. It's free. It's nice. It has good stats. Tends to hold up pretty darn well. You can use it for a little bit in the intro, and then you use it all through the end game. It doesn't really ever get outclassed. In fact, we'll go ahead and put that in A+, because that's good and reliable. That's kind of good for whenever. Durandal. I forget what this even does. This feels like a B+. Let's qualify that. So, 160 attack, that's actually pretty decent. Very decent strength and vitality bonuses, has a resistance bonus, Instillite and Auglite. So it's just a straight damage two-hander. Yeah, B+ feels about right for that, because you gotta go out of your way to get it. Another one of these crossbows, it feels like it's probably I'll just put it in B, I guess. I don't remember which one of these heavy crossbows is which, because they all look identical. Alright. Heavy Axe. A tier, actually. Very good damage for a huge chunk of the middle part of the story, so that gets to go there. Ice Wand is actually going to go one tier lower than the rest of the wands, because why are you running ice? Let's see, Exarch. It's a D tier. I don't know why you'd upgrade the Exarch. Let's see, Mage Robes. I mean, standard B tier. They're just standard equipment, really. Mage Bottoms, we'll put that in the meme tier. You gotta go out of your way to get them. Mega Staff. That one is worth upgrading. We'll go ahead and put that in A-, just because it's got really solid bonuses for its time until you get those elemental wands. Korra. That's a B-. It's usually not worth the upgrade. The materials for it are annoying. The weapon itself is super expensive, and you don't really get much for it. Same thing for this War Maul. I feel like everything above and below it is way more worth it. Headsman. Headsman and Dark Headsman. Alright, we'll go with A+. They're not oppressively good by any means, but let's go ahead and run the numbers here real quick. So Dark Headsman goes up to 131. Regular Headsman is 120. But Lament of the Dead +2 plus Fear Proof basically makes it the token Terror Knight super weapon, more or less. They're available in bulk. You know, it's one of the best skill bonuses you're going to get off a weapon that's very common. So that's all well and good there. Helmhaver. A-. Good attack value. Or is that the Nagamaki? Let me double check as you do. Yeah, that's the Helmhaver. Helmhaver and Superior Helmhaver. The Superior version has a stun effect on it, but Mighty improves attack. It doesn't guarantee stun, so that doesn't get to count. Basically, all of the early game one-handed katanas and things like that can just fall into the trash pile. A+ tier, however, on the Makwa Huddle, which is it's got a very decent amount of uses of Petrifog. So very handy there. Good Earth augments. Just a solid weapon. Very good uses of Petrifog. That kind of about sums it up. It doesn't actually have anything to boost Petrifog, because they always seem very reliable with it. Yeah, Stoneproof. Oh, parry bonus, too. So, again, just very solid and reliable. Actually worked pretty well for multiplayer, too. So, we'll put that there. This Ice Axe is hilarious, so I'll put it over here. Why do you... No. Okay, they do have a finisher that scales off it. We'll put it in B-, but you gotta go out of your way to get it. You gotta fight a freaking Heaven General for it. Why are you running Augment Ice on your Axe guy? And, yeah, it's just not amazing. Iceberg and... or Eiselberg and Iceblade, A-. When you get them, you can get them around the same time as Ozma. Upgrade to Iceblades. She already comes in with Aug Ice and swords. Go ahead and give her a double attack, and, well, at that point you one-shot the last boss. So, there you go. I've seen her doing 300 pluses right out of the gate with that nonsense. Fafnir's Heart, D tier. Just no. It's not a terrible weapon. It's just... again, a pain in the neck and not really an upgrade when you get it. Its weapon, okay, its attack value is pretty darn high. I mean, it's one of the highest in the game, all things considered. But again, late Palace of the Dead. Why are you not running around with something better by that point? But either way, like for example, well, actually, for when you get on Palace of the Dead, I suppose Ogdark would be pretty darn strong, wouldn't it? But it's a really annoying drop. All right, fine. Fine, me. You convinced me to put it in A. There. You happy, me? Dragon Hammer, D. For Dragon. I mean, it completes the Dragons. Okay, we're going to put it in B-. It completes the Dragon set. Its values aren't terrible. It's a one-hander. You know. There's just nothing too fancy about it. Another wand for S tier. Luminant Guards. What was the deal with them again? One of those ones that doesn't really come up very often. So incredibly good defense, Charmproof, and Boon of Swiftness. That looks like an S-tier item to me. Alright, Glistening Helm, B-. It's not amazing. Actually, it goes... yeah. Let's put B- over there. Halt Hammer, A. Good, reliable, lasts a while. You know the drill by now. Cursed Book, why would you bother? The finishers aren't worth it. Dagda's Hammer. I recall that not being amazing. Let's see. So Dagda's is 180, so that's pretty solid. Why do I keep getting the feeling that it scales down a lot? I don't know, but good Vitality, Stoneproof, Petra Burst. I mean, that looks like an A tier to me. I don't know why I constantly have it in my mind as something that's not amazing. Tormac, or whatever this is called, is just a reliable mid-game axe. We'll put that over there. Alright, what's this one called again? Alright, so that's the Golok. 133, Fearproof, Vortex Breath with Draconology for some reason. This thing is all kinds of confused. For a unique weapon, no, that's trash. Put that over there. We don't need a spellcasting weapon for ninjas. Yeah, I'm sure it's got its niche uses, but whatever. Great Bow is not so great. B- for you. It doesn't last very long at all. You upgrade out of it immediately. Its upgrade has nothing fancy to it. Screw that. Yet another one of these crossbows. Why are there so many of them? Why do they all look the same? I don't know. It's a crossbow. It bows crossingly. Leather armor is actually going to be an A tier. Lasts a good long while. Best dex bonus you can get until you get up to Brigandine. Linen slops, F tier. Upgrade immediately. Leather leggings are slightly above that at D, but why are you bothering? Kerberos / Hellhound claws, also D. Just don't bother. Iron claws, they last a decent while, but they're nothing too fancy. B-. Gem de la Flarger. I mean, pretty much the same relative boat there. Javelins, A tier. Great damage, easily available. You can buy them in bulk. Moonblade, B. I mean, it's not bad. It's just a nice weapon. Oh, wait. Was this a Makwahatl? It's almost like there's a lot of pieces of equipment in this game or something. It's hard to tell which one of these are duplicates and which ones are not duplicates. Where the hell did I put the Makwahatl then? I put it up here, didn't I? This must be... okay. Yeah, because this is the one with the green handle. Okay, so this is that... this must be the Tachi or whatever. In that case, F tier for you. Spirit Blade, good and reliable. basically Baldur tier. Hand Axe, good vitality bonus on that, actually, so that also lasts a decent bit. Muzo Blade, let's say B-, or B+. It doesn't last terribly long, but it's got an easy upgrade, great stats for the time, definitely worth picking up. Kidney Spike, I always felt like it was an A tier. No, it seems to hold up really well in the end game, for one reason or another. Longbow, B+. Upgrade out of it. I mean, actually, no, I feel like it goes an A+, because it does last a surprisingly long time. It can last you pretty much all the way up to Chapter 3 if you're in a real pinch. Nefrit Sword, I just really like the poison on it, so that goes into A+. Annoying to get a hold of, though. I'm just putting it up there because I like it. Petra Dart, B+. It's great if it hits. It's unlikely to hit. Ghost Blades, A+. Great scaling, great damage, great everything for when you get them. What are they? Nomads, definite easy S tier in either version. More starter katanas, Odiferous Waster, it's not bad. It's nothing fancy, but it's not bad. Ogre Armor, A+, great stats, great everything, has a weird effect on it. Same thing for the Ogre Helmet, the Ogre set is just busted. Ogre Shield, though, is going into S tier, because anybody that can use Ogre Armor and the Shield can use the crossbow combo, and it is beyond broken. Ogre Blade, B. You can get it fairly reliably in the story. Body Snatch is it's kind of weirdly implemented. I mean, it's got potential for some fun ideas, but it's just really weirdly implemented. And yeah, you can only have one of them, so you'd have to get another one if you ever do use its special effect. It does work with the Ogre set, but then again, just to get the shield and use any one-handed weapon, they scale better anyway. Orician, S tier, absolutely. Yes, it's a pain to get a hold of, but it's free exorcism on a weapon. Overguards, A+, very reliable, great strength bonus for that time of the game. Moving on. Escuchon, it's fine. B+. Gladius doesn't stick around terribly long, but it is a solid attack bonus for when you get it. B+. Jeet goes in the starter katana pile. More instruments for the meme pile. Christdagger, B. It's reliable, but nothing fancy. Mage Staff is pretty solid at an A, although actually it gets down to an A- because getting the unicorn crap to upgrade it is just a no-go. Kadvanga, B-. I don't know. Feels like there's better stuff for your staff options. Katara, B-. Why are you using fists at that point? Alright. Alright, Thunderfire, cool name. Kind of crappy otherwise. Meme category, I think. Sickle Blade, kind of B-. They're expensive to upgrade, but, you know, they're just kind of whatever for when you get them. Musky Gauntlets, kind of D tier. Or actually, no, they're not like a B tier. They're not awful. It's just, why are you using them? You mostly use them to complete the set. Like, they're okay stats. It's just, there's better stuff at the time, unless you're looking to complete the set. Musket, A tier, good, reliable, you know, you get the drill by now. Harp, annoying to get a hold of, and it's an instrument, but, if I recall correctly, let me double check this real quick here. Yeah, so attack value sucks. MP bonuses are right, mind bonus works pretty well for the songstress. Poison proof, Spirit Surge 3, instruments +3. You know what, actually that's pretty decent, but it doesn't really go above B tier, I feel. So I'll put that over there. Yeah, I want to zoom it out even more, but that's just not going to happen. What do we do? So we just sort of scooch it down just slightly. Let's see. Is this Sentinel's Rib? I'm fairly certain it is. Let me double check. No, that's the Pajra. So yeah, I don't know why I always mix up like Gigolos, Centilodals. So this one's Centilodals, alright? No, it isn't. Yes, it is. So Centilodals is water, stun proof, pretty high attack value on it, pretty good dex on it. Not too bad to get a hold of. I feel like it's an A+ tier. Pajra, stop proof, Oglite, worse attack value. You gotta fight a Heaven General for it. I feel like that's a B. Man, these things are so tiny at this point I can barely tell what's going on. Jigglybo, A+. I don't want to put it in S tier. Because, actually, okay, we kind of have to put it in S tier. It's potentially the single highest range damage in the game per shot, but it's... As weird as it sounds, Damask Crossbow actually one-shots better than the Jigglybo. Strange as it may be. Alright, Spiked Flail, or is this the Morning Star? I guess we'll find out later. I believe this is the Morning Star, in which case A+. Very good and reliable, has good longevity, great finishers early on. Lightning Spear. It's got good synergy with a finisher. Let's just put it in B+, because you gotta fight a Heaven General for it. Always gotta count a little bit against it for that. Stun Proof on the Pelta. Great. Deece Pistol goes in B. Just because, you can get better stuff at that time. Yeah, I swear there's definitely duplicates on here. Because at this point we have the Cupido instead of... darn it. What else do we have duplicate down here? There's actually not that many left. Alright, cool. We actually might finish this. Let's see. Alright. Flight Ring. Flight Ring I kind of feel belongs in A-. There's better accessories, but being able to fly it can be incredibly useful. Flight Boots are basically in the same category, though actually no, Flight Ring goes down for that because there's better accessories that you can get, so Flight Ring will be in B. Walloon, definite B. Walloon and Lightning Sword are just kind of meh. Sweep Blade, A-, potentially some of the highest single hit damage in the game, but again, Swordmaster weapons, so screw that. Urchin Bola, A. So good and reliable damage, has a leaden effect. Annoying to replenish, but either way, good weapon otherwise. Supple Whip, also an A weapon, can be combined with the Ogre set for some hilarious effects. Wagel, same thing as the Urchin Bola, except I believe you can actually buy these in bulk, so we'll actually put the Urchin Bola down one for that reason. I usually end up running Wagels. Reaver Ring, probably one of the best accessories in the game in my book, because stop proof and getting haste on somebody is great. Sanshin is... I want to say B. Why do I want to say B? Because I remember it had some drawbacks to it. So 155 attack is honestly not great for that point. It has a bind effect, it has fear proof. I mean, that feels like it should be in at least A-, or at least an A. Alright, whatever, we'll put that there. Tomahawk, D tier. It's too early in the game to be spending money on all that. Scorpion, A tier. Poison on a spear, great. Combining stun poison as stun and poison on a weapon with ninja scrolls on a rune fencer, hilarious. Blah blah blah. More starter katanas go down here. Spiked laurel, or Yanni, whatever you want to call it, goes over there. There we go. There's the good crossbow. A goes nice into A+ tier for that, with its big explosions. Why do I have another Damask in here? Who knows? Basic short bow, A-. It has a stun effect on its upgraded variant. Shimmer Sword goes up here to S. Easily the best 1 HK in the game. You can sword and board it a lot better than dual wielding with that. Pinion Blade, D. I don't really want to use a rogue as a spellcaster. Trident, B-. It's going to be the best 2-tile spear in the game, but it really does not stretch very far. Truenos, I really like in concept, because it's got a bunch of lightning moves on, a lightning claw, and you can get it pretty reliably, but A-. What is this claw thing? The Vignetna's Talons, Sleep Proof, Self-Hide 2. Decent attack, that's actually pretty alright. Yeah, that's an A tier. I can put a claw weapon in A tier, why not? Sage Staff... I feel like that's an A-. Let me double check that. Or a Wise Man Staff, sorry. Okay, so great attack value for a staff, great intelligence, great mind bonus, Aug Dark, silence proof, has a dispel on there. Yeah, that sounds about right. Actually, let's probably boost that up a little bit. It's not light scaling, so it can't be as good as the other ones, but as far as caster salves go, yeah, well, that belongs in an A+. Alright. The other version of the Battlemong. As in, the Battlemong, if you didn't know, the Battlemong and the Fafnir used to be the same weapon, then they just kind of got split up. So Charmproof, Augfire, kind of crappy attack bonus for when and how you get the darn thing. Yeah, you're a B- kind of flavor, aren't you? Right, let's put you over there. Man, I can't even see these letters anymore. It's gotten so tiny. Spiked Shield, D tier. Not amazing stats on it. Poison Proof is kind of whatever. Rose Whip is a B+. It's a good weapon for Ozma. Not really for anyone else. Skull Mask, Petrification Breath is kind of great. A-. Teleportation Ring. B-. It's a cool effect. It's fun to have around. There's better accessories to have, and teleportation gets blocked by knights. However, the Flight Ring, wherever that was, can go above it. Except I can't find the Flight Ring anymore. What gives? Did I already put it up somewhere? Very well might have done. More instruments for the meme category. Wind Bow, B-, because that's kind of whatever. A- for the lightning version. Warhammers are an A. They're good and reliable for quite a while. The Valitas, let's see here. Fantastic across the board. You, sir, are definitely a S-tier hammer. I'll put you up there, because, yeah, 189 is ridiculous. Not to mention Vitality and Dex bonuses for extra accuracy, Charmproof, so they're not friendly firing. Great. Yeah, there's definitely dupes in here. Stun, Blowgun, why friggin' bother? I'm just going to put it in the meme category, even F category. You gotta craft it. You can just put stun poison on any weapon. There's no reason to use that at all. Water Staff is going to go up with the others. There we go. Zeiston doesn't last you very long, but it's a happy little B tier weapon. Is the Volge though? The Volge can last you pretty much up to Chapter 4 if you're using it right. A tier. This thing, D tier. Why the hell bother? This thing is actually it goes for an A+. Insane luck bonus. Very useful as like a primary to boost luck on a secondary. Rahula's A+. Actually, probably even S tier because that thing just farts out damage like crazy. Snubfusel. I feel like that's an A+. Great damage on a portable little shooty thing. Zwei is kind of a B-. It doesn't last very long. It's not amazing for when you get it. Sages, it's a B. Annoying to get. I mean, you probably won't find it on accident. Not really amazing bonuses that you couldn't have gotten elsewhere. Spiked Flail, A, good, reliable, lightweight, lasts a while. Ice Claws, no thanks. That can go over here. Warping Boots, B-. They're just kind of whatever. The stats are not awful, but either way, we'll just put them over there. Sage's Shield, good for multiplayer, kind of a B+ otherwise. Lightning Mace, nah, alright, that goes to B. Sorcerer's Robe, A, kind of obligatory. The Volcadius / Ignis, that goes into D tier, actually. It's annoying enough to get a hold of. The fact that you have to sacrifice it to upgrade it is just straight up dumb. And, yeah, no thanks. Stone Bow, the fact that it's a crossbow that's also a gun is kind of hilarious. B+, lasts a while, good damage. Has crushing damage instead of piercing, so that kind of helps in some cases for some reason. Layla, kind of basic crossbow, whatever. We'll just put that... Or no, that's the Steel Bow. Actually, Steel Bow is going in A. It's actually really, really handy to have a free knockback crossbow. Granted, you're kind of already getting that from Tremendous Shot potentially, but it's very handy as keep-away weapons. I really like that one. Damask Crossbow, for whatever reason, it's here a second time. Gets to have 2 spots in S tier, just kind of because. Is that actually different? I think that's the Rude Bow, isn't it? I mean, Rude Bow is good. It's just, okay, regular A tier sounds about right. It scales well with the flashbang finisher, but again, there's just it feels like you're committing way too much on that. Into the pile of generic crossbows you go. Sagara, definite A weapon. It's a cudgel, and it's dark scaling, but potentially with the ogre set, really hilarious effects. Good reliable thing. You do have to fight a Hemen General for it, but it also just kind of looks like you're smacking somebody with a hoe, and that makes it extra funny. Apparently the cat is losing their dang mind in the background. Let's see, more crossbows for the crossbow pile. I really do not care about any of these crossbows. They are not the Damask +1. They don't matter. Rune Axe. Beautiful. Beautiful A-tier weapon, great caster option. This axe, I forget its name at the moment, that's a respectable B+. Axes themselves are not that great, but that thing is fairly robust and reliable. Procs, B tier, just nothing too particularly fancy about it. Snipe Gators and Snipe Gauntlets, absolute A tier. Actually, they're going up to S tier. Plus 15 dexterity is just insanity. So we'll go ahead and put that up there. Reeking Armor, good and reliable, B+. Valiant Stagger, that's an A. You know, commonly available type. Nice fast weapon, why not? Scarlet Fury, or whatever it's called in this one. Or it's just Fire Dagger or something. The Yama, there we go. Actually, it makes you lose health. Why? Oh yeah, Stop Proof, that's why I liked it. Okay, so Stop Proof on a lightweight weapon with a good dex bonus, sure, that's an A tier. T-Lax Bolts, it's an Ice Spear, that goes to B-. Shamshur, good and reliable, B. Short Sword, kind of a D, get rid of that as soon as possible. Not quite an F, because it gets to show off in cutscenes. More starter katanas for the starter katana pile. The walking stick for the meme pile. Sakura Bow is pretty awful. Put that in D. Okay, no. We'll give it at least a B-. It's got a better attack value. It's just Earth Element doesn't do much for bows. The rays are good B+. Tower Shield, unfortunately, is a B-. Charm Proof is okay, but you're comparing it with other stuff, you're just not likely to run into it as often. I believe this is the Poison Blowgun, in which case meme tier for that. You have better ways of doing that. Meme tier for the Viking Sword that should be called a Barbarian Sword or something. More Starter Katanas for the F pile. Tiger Blade, A-, I guess, sure, why not. Shadow Tramplers, definite A, good vitality bonus, part of a set. Kaiser Knuckles, why are you using fists? We'll just do B-. Yggdrasil Gnarl, just for the cool name alone, goes to A. Also has good and reliable damage. Zephyros scales with a finisher, but it's still a pain in the neck, but it's the best of the wind weapons, so it gets to go in A-. Kind of think about, where's the Notos? Did I miss the Notos? Huh. Well, either way, it would pretty much be, I would say B tier for the Notos. Damask Mitts usually are just a thing you have on hand, B-. More starting swords. What the hell is this thing? Okay, apparently a dupe of the Golok, so whatever. Neenbane. Whatever, B. It does its job. Pretty much any old spellbook. B tier. They're a great defensive option for casters to resist against a particular thing, basically for nullifying bonuses. Okay, you know what, actually they're kind of a B- tier. Well, no, they're a B because they're good casting bonuses, they're good defensive bonuses, they're just not really a weapon so much. Weird feathery staff thing. Remember that being a B+. Let's go double check that. Yeah, Sage Staff, Fear Proof, Light Burst has a free use of Ease. Good finishers, scales off light. That's actually kind of an A tier. Although it goes down to B+. Simply because, that one's the one that I think you have to go through Sand and Bronze to get hold of. Restoration Staff, though, you get the same effect plus healing, plus it's just more available, so that goes up there. Let's see, Worm Scale goes with pretty much the rest of the Dragon Gear, wherever the hell that went these days. Yeah, that goes up there. Good, it's just good and reliable. Pelum, also good and reliable, A tier. Can get them in bulk. Rimfire. Yeah, B tier. It's not awful. It still holds up into the end game. It's just not amazing. More starter katanas. Why are there so many starter katanas? Get out of here, starter katanas. Seriously, stop. What is this? The Ashura or something? You may tell, I may not like the katanas very much. The hell are you? Like, I want to say that's a crescent sword, but it... No, seriously, what is that thing? Oh, it's a two-hand... It's the Sonic thing, isn't it? No? I don't know, whatever. It is a 200. Yeah, it's Ogre's Bane. Okay, Ogre's Bane... Okay, light builds are alright, but again, Swordmaster type crap. B. Sticker is actually pretty darn good. Once again, can last you quite a while. Good dex bonus. Put that there. Rumfaya, B+. Just, once again, easy to get a hold of. Can last you quite a while. Rapier, B-. It doesn't last very long, but, you know, it's an okay bonus for its time. Whichever one of the blowguns this is, they all look so dang similar. Frog Dart, that's the poison one. Wait, so... Yeah, it's going to be near impossible to tell which one's which. See, that one's Petra Dart. In that case, the other one was the poison... You know, whatever. Petra Dart is a B. It's just not as reliable as the other ones. And... what are you? Why is the Goluk in here again? Just for being in here again, it goes in the F pile. Purification Staff, absolute A tier. Probably S tier. That thing is just incredibly good. And Pandero, meme tier for being an instrument. Another one of these bows. Doesn't last very long, goes in D tier. Basic robes, trash. And why can I not remember the name of these gloves? I keep looking at them like I know what you are. I see you all the time. They're the Jigglets. How do I forget what the Jigglets are? Anyway, fixate effect, stop proof on them. Beautiful, beautiful gloves. Go into A tier because it's something that archers would actually run into. It's A+, that is. Okay, so like 5 sessions into this later, here's kind of what we have. That's a meaty list. I wonder how much of this will actually hold up once Reborn gets here. Alright. Do let me know. You guys take care. Have a good one. Bye.